Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Becomes Player and Got Dragon Ball Evil Powers Part 5. Chapter 21. Akeno was staring at the Queen of Riser, both of them were at similar power or so they thought. Akeno was severely holding back her powers for the real fight in the future. Ubaluna. Even with the 10 days of training, you are nothing to true power. She began to charge an attack, expecting to see a desperate facial expression on her opponent. She was met with an emotionless Akeno staring at her. If I were you then I would be best prepared for the destruction that I can produce. Akeno. Just attack already, the longer you talk the more boring this battle becomes. Akeno got into a fighting position, bringing her hands to her eye level and positioning her legs to be loose and ready for anything. She was preparing to decimate her opponent. You aren't even the challenge, why don't you retreat already? This triggered Ubaluna, she didn't want to become useless for Riser. The last time she did that she was scolded for an entire week for not being queen material for Riser. The woman sent a magic attack, filled with demonic energetic yellow energy, destroying everything that was touching the energetic beam of demonic energy. However, when the beam came in contact with Akeno, she was easily able to subdue the energy into nothingness. Shocking the Queen of Riser, she began to send another large amount of demonic energy. She also had some phoenix tears. Akeno. Power, that's something that is determined from feats and not statements. She fiercely glared at the Queen of Riser, finally spreading her wings wider than before. She was preparing to dash at Ubaluna. That's something that you don't have. Akeno rushed towards Ubaluna, the both of them were about to clash, but Akeno blitzed her, appearing behind her and kneeing her in the back. Sending her flying away, the both of them were in a battle that was seemingly equalized, but it was about time that Akeno begins to use her holy lightning magic. She was a fool to think that all her life she had been ignoring the fact that this power was extremely effective against her worst enemies and even effective in fighting against her own race. Maybe sucking up some hatred from the past for this moment was worth a while. Anyways, sending a beam of holy lightning, everyone that could sense this was shocked to see someone with both energy. She had the potential to kill whomever she wanted to in this battle because of the holy magic. Ubaluna tired to create a shield with her demonic energy. Ubaluna. Damn it, this woman wasn't even trying against me beforehand. To have the ability of holy magic Ria's queen truly isn't someone to underestimate. The beam began to approach her closer and closer, she began to push with even more power, screaming at the top of her lungs, while also slowly being pushed back. Maybe it's about time to use the special gift if I get hit. The woman blocked the attack, but she was heavily burnt on the hand. She didn't decide to use the phoenix tear for such baby wounds, rushing back at Akeno. Unfortunately, that was when she was directly struck by holy lightning. Causing her to scream, cry in agony, the pain from being hit by a holy attack was destroying her. She was slowly being electrocuted by the worst situation she could have been, slowly grabbing the phoenix tears. Akeno saw this and was about to increase the intensity of her lightning onto the devil, but she stopped. She thought to herself that she could let the attempts that the woman would use for the phoenix tear be futile because she would destroy her once more. Ubaluna. Ah, that's much better, now this is what I am talking about. She began to heal up, her body's damage was replaced with new fresh skin. I suppose that you're much more powerful than you let on in the beginning, but that isn't enough to change anything. She dropped the phoenix tear bottle onto the ground and began to crack her neck to release the stress on it. She rushed back at Akeno. Hoping to land a devastating punch onto Akeno, she was met with a holy lightning infused. Screaming with her skin being burnt, she was about to try to counter whatever that Akeno was about to do, but she was cut short when her head was met with a powerful kick by Akeno. Being sent crashing onto the ground, cracking and breaking the dirt on the ground. She began to slowly get up with her body in severe pain, determination was beginning to overtake her instead of her instincts of retreating. Rushing back at Akeno, she was knocked out when Akeno appeared in front of her and sent a barrage of powerful and precise blows onto each pressure point on the woman's body. Akeno. It's over. Akeno turned around and flew towards Rias. The Queen of Riser has been eliminated. Nearly everyone had been taken care of, now it was a few stragglers and some other fools that they needed to take care of before they could take on Riser and walk him together, knowing that they destroyed the pride of someone noble and won against someone noble. Time skip. Issei was making his way home until he saw Rossweisse staring at him from her porch. She was glaring with one of the scariest glares that he had received from anyone, which was many glares. The woman was making her way towards him while he was casually walking towards her. His power was immensely more powerful than before, dwarfing even Rossweisse. Since stats were exponential in terms of growth, he was easily an elephant compared to her in terms of power. She was in her nightgown which was exposing some things, but since Issei's mind was paying attention to what was about to come to him, this was one of the very few times he pushed his perverted side away. The more intelligence he received the further away he strayed from his hormones. Rossweisse. I knew it, you lied, you went on an adventure didn't you? She began to examine the severe damage that he had, the burn marks, the internal bleeding and external bleeding. Even some of the massive cuts that he received were clearly showing. Rossweisse covered her mouth in shock seeing this. What did you fight that almost killed you? Issei looked at his options, his brain was moving at immense speeds, seeing the results of the two options. Not telling her about what he fought, but keeping the information of the system to himself would result in her the best situation, ignoring her and making a lie would bite his ass in the future. Sighing, he moved his hands to Rossweisse's shoulder to calm her down and make her focus on what he was about to say. She saw the serious expression on Issei's face, knowing that this wasn't the joyful and cocky Issei, she stopped ranting and paid attention. Issei. I didn't go on an adventure. She didn't believe that, but Issei continued before she could interrupt. Fighting against a monster doesn't automatically qualify as me going on an adventure. Rossweisse. What did you even fight? Specifically, was it similar to the first boss? She was naive enough to think that Ludwig was the first boss that Issei fought, but to calm her down, Issei nodded. He didn't need to go in detail with how large the boss was. But that boss didn't give you burn marks, nor did the other boss give you severe injuries like these. This boss was much more deadlier than the other one. Issei sighed, this woman wasn't as dumb as he thought she was. Definitely a step above Rias, but definitely not his level of intelligence. Issei. Yes it was, now if you don't mind. I'm going to try and rest before doing anything. Before he could do anything, Rossweisse grabbed him and began to drag him with her. What are you trying to do? Why are you dragging me? Rossweisse. If your mother was to see your wounds then she would be going crazy seeing you consistently coming home being beaten. You'll be staying at my house tonight. This was the first time that Issei was about to stay overnight at Rossweisse's house. Also, did you complete the homework that I gave to you during class? Issei. You'll have to find out during class if I did. Issei wasn't going to do his homework, especially when most of it was insane work that would have wasted a bunch of time. Rossweisse wasn't taking this as a joke, she was staring down upon Issei with angered eyes. She stayed up waiting for Issei to come back, she knew that Issei left when he created a burst of energy when activating Blitz. Rossweisse. You'll be doing it with me. I have a spare piece of paper that had the homework on it in my room. The both of them entered her house and began to finish up the homework that Issei had to complete. Issei. What is this bullshit, where are the numbers? Why is everything here filled with letters? Where did simple math go? His intelligence may have been much higher, but not knowing something and knowing something are two different things that didn't require intelligence. Issei skipping a bunch of days is something that he shouldn't have done. Rossweisse. This is math, deal with it now. What is the answer to the first question? She was screaming at the beginning because of the sudden outburst that Issei showed. Issei. Wait, let me think, is it 14? Rossweisse said nothing besides smiling and moving on. Maybe he did have a chance at this. Time skip brought to you by Goku receiving golden experience Requiem. After defeating all the other fools, Kiba and Akeno were seen on top of the roof that Rias and Riser were originally battling. Riser and Rias were breathing heavily, it seemed that the both of them were battling for quite some time. Riser wasn't as strong as Rias thought he was, but that was probably due to her power of destruction, weakening Riser each time that she damaged him with it. Riser. It seems that I haven't been taking you as serious that I should have been. Maybe force will be the only way to make you realize that you can't win. Riser began to regenerate all the damage done onto him. He had been playing easy on Rias, but the disrespect that he had been receiving and the amount of time that he was wasting had finally snapped him from being nice and caring to a ruthless warrior. My peerage lost. That was as expected. None of them were even that good at battling, if they actually worked on training instead of being maids, then they would have done better. Kiba. Just stop with the talking and fight already. Kiba was staring at Riser with an unamused expression, the battle between them was going to begin. Akeno, begin to charge your magic, the Holy One. You're the key to this battle, don't mess this up or else I'll be after you. Akeno nodded and the battle began with Kiba forming swords near him and Riser forming flames around himself. Riser shot the flames first, the pure intense flames of the phoenix were spiraling towards Kiba, smirking and dodging the flames while grabbing one of the swords that he formed. Throwing the flame at Riser, blocking the sword and expecting for the worst, Riser shot flames in front of him. He wasn't able to hit Kiba, but he was able to stop the plan that he was potentially about to do. Kiba threw knives that he had in his pocket, perfectly slicing off the arms of Riser. Kiba landed on his legs and watched as Riser regenerated his arms. Riser. Great, always have to be an annoyance. What if I was to use these flames in another way? Riser quickly used his flames to form a sword, condensing the flames into a dense and powerful sword in his hands. Destruction is what I'll be, destruction is what I create. Kiba stayed silent and rushed in once more, forming a powerful sword of his own. He swung at Riser. Missing the attack thanks to Riser being able to move at speeds faster than Kiba. Unfortunately, Riser wasn't able to dodge the other swords that formed under him, stabbing him in the stomach and stopping him. Kiba was able to spin in a circle, perfectly aiming his sword downwards towards the middle of Riser's body. He wasn't able to cut Riser in half because Riser stabbed him in his side. Riser was able to move even when being in immense pain due to his training that he had originally received from his older brother not too long ago. Kiba. Son of a bitch. Kiba backed up and held the gushing wound, blood was pouring out while Rias watched this. She was able to concentrate the power of destruction ball that she was charging and waited for the perfect moment to finally launch the ball. Come on Riser, just because I have a cut doesn't mean that I will give up. Riser rushed to Kiba, that was when a condensed ball of destruction rammed right through the middle of Riser's body. Kiba was able to stab Riser with his two swords that he had, one that he held, and the other was the one that he originally formed on the ground that he wasn't able to grab. Riser was screaming in pain. He may have better pain tolerance than others, but that didn't mean he was immune to pain. Smaller stabs may have been doable, but a massive hole in his chest and two sword wounds were a bit too far. He regenerated and quickly swallowed up his sword into his body and blasted a quick beam of flames onto Kiba, which directly connected with Kiba. Riser. I will kill you, continuously punching the burnt Kiba on the face. He was expecting to beat Kiba to death, but he wasn't prepared for the knives in Kiba's hand. Stabbing him in the eyes while watching him scream, Kiba began to punch Riser all over his body, attempting to weaken him. Akeno was finally down, charging her attack, but she waited for the moment that Kiba wasn't in the proximity of the massive holy lightning. Kiba. Then kill me already, this is getting quite repetitive, don't you think? Kiba punched Riser into the air. Akeno knew that this was the moment to launch the massive attack that she was charging. Shooting a massive beam of lighting, striking Riser, or so they thought. Riser was able to burst into flames, covering himself in a thick layer of flames. The flames and the lightning cancelled out. Akeno. Satan, damned it all, that was everything that I had. Kiba finally began to sweat from not knowing what to do at this point. Kiba, we have to go all in at this point. Rias, we need your help here. Aren't you our king? Rias. We have to overload his regeneration. Rias and Akeno rushed in with Kiba, but someone else busted through the roof and punched Riser in the air, sending him flying back up. It was revealed to be Kaneko with her features showing. Her power was immense in terms of raw physical power. She was able to punch Riser all the way into the sky. Turning around, she waved her hands in a cute gesture while seeing Kiba bleeding on the ground. Kaneko. Yo, she looked towards Kiba and began to say. Sorry for coming late. Kiba. Hurry up and help us with the birdie. She nodded and the both of them began to rush towards Riser. Kiba was easily blitzing Kaneko and appearing in front of the smirking Riser. He was about to burn Kiba until. Kiba. It's already too late. Random knives rushed at Riser and stabbed him. Did you really think that I wouldn't have a plan before rushing in blindly? Riser. The same could be said about me. Riser was about to slam Kiba onto the ground, but he was kicked away by Kaneko. Overwhelming Riser was their only choice in winning. Ria sent another ball of destruction, but instead of a ball, she instead condensed it into an arrow. Riser disappeared from the air and appeared in front of Kaneko. Riser. Flames of the fist. Riser punched Kaneko in the chest with so much force that she was sent flying at speeds that even Kiba couldn't even react to, skidding on the ground while coughing out blood and stopping on the wall of the other building. Kaneko was barely conscious from being hit by Riser. Since I wouldn't be able to fight you all when I'm actually trying, how about I go beyond my limits and force you to surrender? Rias was the one that rushed towards Riser. She formed a fist filled with the power of destruction. Punching Riser, she missed, but she thought that she punched him. Instead, she was kicked in the face. Kiba was able to stab Riser once more while he was able to pay attention. Using his speed, he was able to run away while buying some time. Riser was chasing him while throwing ball of flames. Riser. Come back here. Riser was covered in flames, his eyebrows were covered in flames, and his mouth was spewing out flames. Kiba. Looks like I don't need to hold back anymore. Akeno is our only hope, but having some fun would be great. Kiba finally let loose a barrage of swords to form on the ground. He grabbed a few and threw them at Riser. This battle is coming to an end. Kiba saw Akeno charging another holy attack, rushing towards the building, but in a way that didn't make it obvious to Riser. Throwing swords at the fireballs that Riser threw, throwing knives at the smaller sparks that nearly hit him, Kiba continued to defend himself, while Riser was continuously trying to kill him. One hit was all that would be needed for Riser to eliminate Kiba, dodging and continuously defending himself. He finally made it to Akeno. Akeno. Kiba, you need to end this in one attack, this is my everything. She threw the holy ball at Kiba. Thankfully Kiba was able to use a large sword that he formed in his hands to combine the magic onto his sword. The magic was beginning to burn and rip the skin on his hand, but no pain no gain. The Queen of Rias has been eliminated. Riser. Your friends have so much confidence in you, will you beat me or will you not? There is no way that you would even. He was punched in the back by someone. A bleeding Kaneko was trying her best to weaken Riser for Kiba. Riser. Damn midget, get off me. Riser grabbed her and was about to burn her alive, but he was hit by another attack from behind. He turned to see Rias on the ground breathing heavily. She collapsed from using too much energy. The rook of Rias has been eliminated. Riser. Looks like she's down. When Riser looked back at Kiba, he saw a huge outline of someone with huge amount of energy surrounding him. Riser was collided with him, and the struggle began. The both of them were stuck. Riser may have the advantage in strength, but the holy magic was beginning to burn him, which was slowly weakening himself and his regeneration. Riser. Why won't you all understand that this marriage will be one step closer to saving the devil race? He was slowly beginning to lose his ground, beginning to lose his grip on the beam struggle, and his regeneration was weakening. Damn unite of Rias. Kiba. It's Kiba, I don't belong to anyone. I could give 0 hucks about whatever the huck you said. Finally pushing through and slicing Riser with enough force to finally knock him unconscious, the announcer began to speak. But a terrific ending and a very unpredictable match. Rias and her peerage have won, specifically the Knight of Rias has won. Kiba. Hopefully I get a reward out of this. Maybe my one peerage, maybe freedom, or maybe the person who actually was behind the Holy Sword project. Kiba began to fade away while having an insane look in his eyes. Scene change brought to you by Monica and Yandir-chan fusing while the MC becomes the hunter from Bloodborne. Surziches was seen staring at the screen, proud to see his sister actually putting an effort into something. He was quite shocked and blown away by Kiba. Not only did he push himself with a wound in his side, but he also ended the fight with the help of Akeno. He was shocked to see that Akeno was using her holy lightning powers that she inherited from her father, but she was using it in Surziches. Oh dearest wife, he was quickly pinched on the cheek by his wife. You seriously need a chill pill, I only greeted you with respect. Rafia. Knowing your personality, you were going to say something childish. Milikas isn't here, so act proper or else I will get the pan. Surziches sighed, his wife was one monster in public but a softie when alone. Don't sigh at me young man, I'll have you know that I am only doing the best for you. Surziches. Hitting me on the head isn't healthy. Especially when you're basically on the level of Serafal. He was met with another smack on the head. Is this what I get for marrying a dominant wife? Rafia. What were you even about to ask me? She said with curiosity. I'm waiting. Surziches. Rias called me a few months ago saying that there was someone on her territory that was able to defeat her and her peerage with minimal effort. It was also convenient that Rias also began to train not too long after. I must say that this man, whoever he is, I must thank him. I have a feeling that he was one of the reasons for my sister to finally lay off the books and begin training. Hopefully, she doesn't go back because I am going to put her through hell, no pun intended. Rafia. When I arrived at her place 10 days ago, some of her peerage were still severely bruised up and had burn marks. Whoever this is must be someone with a unique power. Surziches. We the Satans have fought against the old Satan faction for the fact that these traditions had to be stopped, these arranged marriages had to be stopped, that was what we wanted. I fought to the end against Rizavam and the others, even when my body was beginning to disintegrate with my power, I still fought with everything that I had. Luckily, this arranged marriage came to an end, or else I would have pulled this argument out of my ass and tried to have Ajuka help me, because this is exactly what we fought for. Grafia remembered the horrible condition her husband was in during the ending of the Devil's Civil War. She was horrified seeing the bloody and burned Surziches collapsed on the floor after the last wave of enemies. Anyways, thanks for telling me that. I'll have to talk with my drinking buddy. Grafia looked sad because she couldn't drink. When she did, then she would oftentimes do things with Surziches, even when others were watching. I'll allow it just this occasion. Grafia smiled and grabbed her husband. She rushed down the hallways and ran right past her father-in-law and her mother-in-law. They both were laughing at the screaming Surziches. Then Alana. Young love Zeodicus saw his wife smiling when watching her son turning the corner. Zeodicus. Where'd you like that? She looked at him as if he stole her money. Too soon, at least Rias got out of the situation. Scene change brought to you by Issei going back in time with his memories changing the name and his fate through the events of DxD once more. Issei was finished with his homework and Rossweisse was tired. That was when someone knocked on the door. Walking towards the front door. He opened the door to be revealed with, Irina. No way, it can't be. Issei, is that you? Issei. Shit. Name. Irina Hyoudou. Level. 45. Race. Human. Gender. Female. Health points HP. 3750, 3750. Magic MP. 4500, 4500. Fatigue. 0. Strength STR. 70. Vitality Vit. 75. Agility AGL. 75. Intelligence Int. 60. Sense S. 70. Luck LCK. 40. Irina. It has been so long since the last time we have met each other, we have to catch up some time. She was excited like a child getting candy, she still hadn't changed. Issei was shocked that the person in front of him was a woman and not a man. Issei. How about not doing that? Rossweisse made it to the front door and was staring at the woman. Rossweisse. Issei, who is this? Zenobia. Coughs to gain attention. We have some business with the owner of this land. Name. Zenobia Quarta. Level. 48. Race. Human. Gender. Female. Health points HP. 3750, 3750. Magic MP. 5250, 5250. Fatigue. 0. Strength STR. 75. Vitality Vit. 75. Agility AGL. 75. Intelligence Int. 70. Sense S. 60. Luck LCK. 45. The true story finally begins. Issei. Yer Hucking Days. Chapter 22. Issei was sitting down with Rossweisse next to him, while Irina and Zenobia were besides each other on the opposite side. Issei took a sip out of his cup that was given to him by Rossweisse, staring down upon the two in front of him. He finally placed his cup down and breathed in. Irina. Issei, tell me, how have you been all these years? I have been eagerly waiting to see you once more. Do you know how much I missed you? This woman was on some sort of crack that Issei needs the name for, because it would be nice to be as energetic as she is. Issei. I have been doing pretty well over the years, how about you? Irina. Amazing, I learned how to use a sword. Issei. Okay. Irina. Are you proud of me? Issei. Sure. Let's stick with that. While Issei and Irina were speaking with one another, something about this interaction was causing Rossweisse to dislike it. There was something that she didn't know why she disliked the situation. Irina. How about we explore your mother's and father's house? She grabbed onto Issei's hand, but before anything else could happen, Rossweisse, out of everyone, grabbed onto Issei's other hand and forcefully sat him down. Rossweisse. How about going back on topic about why you came here? Irina was the only one taking note of this. She noticed the look that Rossweisse was giving her, something that she could take advantage of. Zenobia started explaining things to Issei and Rossweisse. She only explained the bare minimum information. Talk about being helpful. Issei. You're asking to meet the owner of the land and ask them some requests. Zenobia. Yes, we don't want any interferences with our mission that was given to us by Lord Mitchell. Issei. Go ahead, looks like this isn't my problem. Rossweisse grabbed his hand, squeezing it to signal that she didn't like his idea. Reassuring that the woman wouldn't panic, he squeezed her hand back. Quickly glancing towards her and nodding, Issei knew what he was doing. Zenobia. Thank. Issei. But if the city gets into a situation where the risk of this place blowing up becomes apparent, then there will be no god that will be stopping me from getting involved. Zenobia lost the small smile that she had, staring at Issei while slowly beginning to move her hand towards her side. Zenobia. I assure you that won't happen. Just trust me and everything will be. Issei. Why trust someone else to do something that I can do far better than them? Zenobia began to pull out her Excalibur Destruction, a fragment of the supposed legendary sword originally owned by the legendary King Arthur. Name. Excalibur Destruction. Rarity. D. Description. A fragment of a far stronger sword, but not the original sword. Effects. +5, Strength, 5 Agility. Additional effects. Super effective against demon, devil, and dark creatures. Zenobia. I suggest that you leave the church's business to themselves and stay out of this. Issei. My parents live in the city, and if you're going to roam around trying to find these toothpicks, creating a conflict large enough for this Lord Mitchell to be sending you here, then you better expect that I will be involved. Irina tried to calm the situation down with stopping Zenobia, but that didn't work because the moment that Issei pulled out his altar greatsword was when everything took a turn for the worst. Zenobia. Are you really going to face the church alone? Issei. The church isn't a threat to me. Rossweisse finally stopped being that woman that stayed behind. She got up and faced Irina, the childhood friend of Issei versus the teacher best friend of Issei. Zenobia. Last warning to stand back or else you'll be harmed severely in this battle. New quest. The Holy Battle. Description. The church warriors want to battle against you. Beat them and they won't mess with you. Make sure not to kill them or else the failure punishment will be severe. Reward. Get to go through your plan. Failure. The angel faction becomes your enemy, including the people in the church. Issei placed his sword onto his right shoulder while Rossweisse cracked her knuckles. This was the perfect time for her to fight with Issei. Issei. Woman, you're far too inexperienced to battle against me. I should be the one asking if you want to back down. Before anything could happen, Issei activated Blitz and moved everyone out of the building faster than anyone could process what was happening. Rossweisse was the only one able to move while Issei was moving everyone outside. She smiled realizing that Issei cared about her stuff and her property. Zenobia. What the hell happened? Zenobia was confused on what the hell happened. She was just indoors and now outdoors in less than a second. Turning around and staring at Irina, who had her hair messed up thanks to the immense speed of someone moving, she sighed, knowing that her partner was with her. Issei. Get your weapon, the battle has already begun, no playing around. Issei was in front of them, they only felt the small holy aura being released from him. What the hell was this man in front of them? Zenobia rushed towards Issei while he turned his head towards Rossweisse. Issei. Hey, go wild. She nodded and rushed towards Irina. Zenvoya attempted to slash Issei with her sword. He caught the sword with 2 fingers while twisted the blade around to face the sword directly in front of Zenobia. Issei. Just because you have an Excalibur fragment doesn't make you above the other races. Zenvoya. Only those privileged enough shall be rewarded with holding an Excalibur. Issei. You don't see higher beings holding privileged weapons, do you? That Lord Mitchell, do you see him holding a powerful weapon with him all the time? She attempted to reel back her weapon, but she was met with her blade beginning to crack from the immense pressure being released from Issei's hand. This aura. It was absolutely terrifying yet so graceful. She didn't feel fear, it felt even more divine than even Lord Mitchell. Zenobia. No, he doesn't, but that's because someone of his caliber doesn't need a weapon to be strong. That was when she felt a bone-shattering punch to the gut, breaking past the Excalibur destruction and landing directly into the woman's gut. Issei used his pure divine energy, similar in holiness to the god of the biblical. Issei. I am on the same caliber where I don't need a weapon to be considered strong. She widened her mouth, the pain was going through her body faster than her body could react, coughing massive pools of blood because that is how anime characters work. She was grabbing onto her gut while trying her best to stand up. Issei was staring down upon her, but for a short glimpse, she saw the magic behind Issei. Why did it feel like God? She collapsed onto the ground, losing her pride, her sword, and probably a bone. She was at a complete loss. She saw one final thing that absolutely terrified her. The power behind Issei was terrifying. Issei. To think that you would have been smarter to use strategy instead of blindly rushing in. The church is disappointing, not too surprising, comparing them to Rias and her peerage. Issei sat down and began to watch the battle that was occurring between Irina and Rossweisse. Issei. That short burst of energy that I produced must have gotten someone's attention. Switching perspectives with Rossweisse brought to you by her going to the My Hero Academia universe. Rossweisse knew that Issei was going to win this, she believed in him, and every time that she believed in him, he would manage to fix the problem ahead of them. She just needed to deal with the woman in front of him, Issei's so-called childhood friend. Irina. Oh, I heard from Issei that you're his teacher. During the conversation that Irina and Issei were having before the whole situation between Issei and Zenobia. Rossweisse. Yeah, and? Irina grinned a little bit, she was going to mess with this woman. She heard from Issei about how Issei met with her, she had to say that she was unimpressed with how this woman was causing problems with her childhood friend. Irina. Well, that's good because that means that Issei is still single. Rossweisse rushed towards her and tried to punch the woman in the gut. She summoned her spear and attempted to stab the woman, but she was blocked thanks to the woman being able to use the sudden burst of anger that Rossweisse was feeling for some reason. Irina. What was with that outburst? Don't tell me that. Issei's not single. Irina was playing Rossweisse into a trap, she was manipulating her feelings. Anyone with a brain could tell that Rossweisse liked Issei, the way that she acted in school, the way that she acted towards him in the house when she squeezed his hand, and the way that she did an outburst a few seconds ago. Rossweisse was the one not accepting it, Issei was just paying attention to other shit. Rossweisse. I don't know, but I don't give a damn, you're nothing to a Valkyrie. Rossweisse punched Irina in the gut, sending her flying away. Using her spear, she once more attempted to stab the woman. She succeeded, but she only was able to launch the woman deeper into the ground due to Irina being able to slightly block the attack at the last moment. Irina. Come on, do you really think that Issei would actually like you? You're his damn teacher, a damn problem to him, causing nothing but pain to him. That's what teachers do. Irina was playing a dangerous game, the options would either be Rossweisse exploding in rage or her losing confidence allowing for Irina to win. Rossweisse. Shut up, this is a battle, we can argue later on. But Rossweisse wasn't understanding what Irina was trying to say. Irina continued to taunt her with words. This may not have been the brightest moment for her, but she needed a way to win. Fair is foul and foul is fair. Irina. You know what I am speaking about, I'm talking about Issei's friendship with you. It's obviously all fake. Let me ask you something. She was interrupted by a powerful punch to the mouth. Rossweisse was beginning to lose her cold, what the hell does she want with her friendship with Issei? That didn't involve her. Irina. What have you done for him? Rossweisse looked confused at what she was trying to say. What has she done for him? She had done many things for him. Irina. I know Issei since childhood and judging by the way that he acted then, he would still be helping others. The way that she was talking about Issei, the way that she spoke in a childish tone while talking as if things were happened as if they were yesterday. It was slightly angering Rossweisse for some reason. Irina was noticing Rossweisse's hands being clenched even tighter than before. Irina. He must have helped you, but what have you done in return for him? That was when Rossweisse's brain began to move at speeds that she didn't know that it could move at. Issei had saved her twice, helped out with her confidence, helped out with her getting a job, yet she hadn't done anything besides helping him with his homework that she created the problem with in the first place. Irina. What have you done to show appreciation to him? She was hoping that she was right, she was guessing on some of it, but judging from the next reaction from Rossweisse. Rossweisse. My friendship with Issei doesn't matter to you, stay out of this, you whore. Irina was met with a powerful fist to the left cheek, then followed by a kick to the gut, ending the combo off with a spin kick to the side. Ending the battle, but the damage had already been done. Slowly, Rossweisse was processing the words that Irina said during the battle. What have you done to show appreciation to him? Rossweisse. I helped him in his homework and let him stay at my house. She was beginning to understand the situation, thinking in even more in depth than before. Issei had saved her twice, from a goddamn centipede demon to Ludwig the Accursed. Yet the only thing that she had shown him were small things that she felt insecure about showing to him. Was she just using him? No, that can't be. Right. Rossweisse. I don't know. She grabbed the holy woman in anger and brought her towards Issei to show him that she defeated her opponent. Maybe then Issei could believe in her, maybe then Issei could bring her to one of those bosses. Switching perspectives with Rossweisse brought to you by her going to the My Hero Academia universe. Issei was currently calling someone. Mitsuda. I don't have Uno, so go huck off. Not the best situation for Issei to be in, trying to explain something to someone who doesn't have a single brain cell functioning. Issei. Everyone has Uno, dipshit, it came free with your Hucking's box. Mitsuda. I didn't get it, I have the oldest box known to man. Issei. No you don't, I bought mine on day 1, you hucking tard. Mitsuda. Well, mine didn't have it. Issei. You have Anu, you hucking hick. Mitsuda. I don't have it, you hucking faggot. Issei. You have Anu. Mitsuda. I don't hucking have Uno, motherhicker. Issei. Go to it in the arcade and you'll be able to download it for free, you dumb motherhicker. It's a hucking card game, they don't even charge people for it. Mitsuda. I don't have 2, I don't have 3, I don't have hucking 4, I don't have 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11. Issei. You don't know a goddamn thing, it's hucking Uno, it's free. Mitsuda. I don't have Uno. Issei closed the call just to recover from the world war his brain cells were going through. That man's IQ must be lower than his damn age. That was when he saw Rossweisse coming towards him with someone in her hands. Irina was beating the huck up in her hands. Dropping her off on top of Zenobia, who just woke up and was about to get up. Issei. Good job with beating her. I knew that you could do it. Rossweisse nodded, she felt a little off. Issei didn't pay attention to it. He was dealing with some real shit. Issei. Get up, stop acting. I know that you're awake. Zenvoya got up, she was heavily damaged while holding on to her gut for dear life. Zenobia. I'll be reporting this to Lord Mitchell, you will be. Issei. You'll be angering someone that you don't want to mess with. This was where Rossweisse came into the situation. Rossweisse. Go ahead, report to your leader. I'm pretty sure Lord Odin and Lord Thor would love to come here and squish a few pigeons. That was when the situation completely died down. Did these people know about the power of those two gods, or was there something that he was missing? Issei understood that gods must have been a step above the rest of the supernatural beings, maybe some beasts can make the cut. Zenobia. TCH, this isn't over, the church will not accept your help. Issei. You're literally on devil territory, you could easily be killed for invading one's property. Irina. Well, Issei, I will be seeing you soon, see you later. Irina gave Issei a quick hug, pissing off a certain Valkyrie, but nevertheless Irina stuck her tongue at Rossweisse and dashed towards Zenobia to run away. Issei. All in a day's work. He turned towards Rossweisse, who was looking confused. Waving his hand in front of her, he began to speak with her. Issei. Hello, any brain cells left? Rossweisse. Notices the hand, oh, sorry Issei, let's get going before school starts. Issei. Okay. Moonwalking towards the house, Rossweisse was impressed while seeing this. Rossweisse. How is he so serious yet so calm about everything? I need a drink, maybe some beer will do. Chapter 23, The Conflict. Issei and Rossweisse were sitting in the living room, since Rossweisse was drunk and Issei didn't want to leave her alone or else she would cause issues such as breaking things. He stayed and made sure that Rossweisse wasn't causing problems. Plus, his neighbors to the other side of his parents' house weren't the nicest when talking about noises in the night. He didn't want Rossweisse to be arrested or even worse, forced to use mind magic or bring an Odin to help her. Rossweisse. Issei, don't leave me, stay here with me. She was drunk, extremely drunk. He should have stopped her, but he didn't want to ruin her enjoyment. He was currently social distances himself from her in case if she does something that she regrets. He also didn't want to lose his third friend, in actuality his actual first true friend, to some childish actions. Issei. I'm not leaving. Rossweisse stopped herself and planted her face onto the pillow in front of her. She was beginning to sleep, but that was when she was beginning to mumble some words. Issei. How about going to sleep? Rossweisse. No, I'm not sleeping. She was staring at Issei the entire time, watching his facial expression. She didn't want to bore Issei, she was taking the words that Irina said about her to heart. What has she even done to show appreciation for the stuff that Issei had done for her? Issei. It's getting pretty late for you, shouldn't you be? I don't know. Pretty tired. Casually smiling while scratching the back of his head, he didn't expect an outburst from Rossweisse. Rossweisse. Are you saying that just because you think spending time with me is boring? Is that why you're leaving? Issei gave her the confused face. How did she even come down to that conclusion? Just because he was making sure that she didn't destroy her health doesn't mean that he was thinking that she was boring. She was actually being the most entertaining thing to watch today. Drunk Rossweisse was best. Rossweisse. Rossweisse. Damn it, I knew all along that I was the problem. The reason why I couldn't get a boyfriend was because I was the problem. I'm going to be a loner for the rest of my life. And I don't want to be. Why? Issei watched Rossweisse begin to tear up and exploded into tears. If he had some popcorn, then he would have begun shoving them down his throat at the entertainment that he was receiving, but he knew that this was going to bite him in the ass. Getting up and walking towards Rossweisse, he sat down next to her. Issei. You've been acting way weirder ever since Irina and that other bum came into your house. What is up? Issei said that with such a casual tone. Rossweisse, thankfully that she was drunk, began spitting out everything that was happening. Maybe not giving Rossweisse alcohol was the best idea if she was going to be this open with her feelings when being drunk. Rossweisse. Am I a problem to you? Issei. What the hell type of question is that? Of course not. Rossweisse. Don't lie to me, tell me the truth. You have done so much for me and I haven't done anything for you. What was up with this woman? Why was she acting so guilty towards him? Issei. What do you mean by you haven't done anything for me? Rossweisse slowly got up, still being drunk as huck from drinking, and began moving her hands around to try her best to explain what she meant. Rossweisse. You've saved me twice, helped me get a job, and even helped me with my confidence, and yet I haven't done anything to repay for the good things that you have done. Issei sighed. Irina must have messed with her during the battle. He saw the way that Irina was smiling from the distance before he got into the argument on his phone with Mitsuda. He also saw the angered look that Rossweisse had. Connecting things together and seeing the possibilities, that damn chestnut-haired woman was going to get the worst punishment the next time she appears in front of him. She should have known that some people are extremely sensitive when speaking about themselves and their own value. Damn those two holy women, not only will they become even worse of a problem, but they already have caused Rossweisse to be in this conflict. Issei. I mean, you did save the both of us during the cave trip, you also helped me on my homework, which in my mind counts as saving the world, and you replaced Mrs. Karen as the new teacher. This was getting more awkward for Issei. This woman wasn't herself when she was drunk. Rossweisse. But that still do. Issei had enough and covered the woman's mouth with his finger. He didn't want to cause a whole drama scene when he could end this with a few words. Issei. I know that chestnut-haired woman was the one who put those thoughts into your head. Listen, just because I saved you doesn't mean that you have to repay me. Plus, I was the one who even put you in the situations where you would have died. I should be the one repaying. Rossweisse was going to protest, but Issei placed another finger on her mouth. Issei. Rossweisse, we have gone over this many times, I have showed you many signals and compliments, you're not going to be a loner. Just because you don't have a boyfriend doesn't devalue you, it just means that you're making sure to pick the right husband. Issei hated to say that the thing that Rossweisse was doing, picking and choosing the right husband, was the clever thing to do because that would ensure a better relationship than just dating someone that looked good. So that raised the question, why was she so upset with that? Issei. For crying out loud, I have been single for nearly as long as you, many people on the planet are single for their entire life. Think Rossweisse, think. Rossweisse took in all those words and still wasn't satisfied with the answer that Issei gave. She wasn't sure if Issei was the one to blame or herself for putting Issei into the situations. She was the one that used her curiosity, which resulted in them nearly dying from the centipede demon, and that she was the one that wanted to explore the cave system which released Ludwig the Accursed. Rossweisse. But I was the one that ran into those monsters, I am the one to blame. Issei. Stop it, get some help. Rossweisse exactly that, stopping herself from screaming about blaming herself, she stopped and looked towards Issei, who was deep in thought. She was thinking that he was going to agree with blaming her. Issei. In reality, no one was actually the one who caused all those. Just because I somehow saved you doesn't mean that you have to repay me. I saved you knowing that I won't be getting paid back. Rossweisse, you're an amazing woman, don't let these little thoughts affect yourself. Issei hugged Rossweisse, she returned the hug and didn't say anything. That was because she was slowly beginning to fall asleep while being embraced by Issei. Issei. Rossweisse. Issei checked to see her passed out sleeping soundly on his shoulder. Being the friend that he was, he placed her on the couch and jumped out the window. He needed to get back home to make sure his mother didn't suspect some bullshit happening between them. Issei. Wait, it's nearly midnight. I don't need any sleep. Never mind. Issei rushed towards the front door of his house and busted the door down. Mother? Issei, what did I tell you about busting the door down? That's the 10th time already. His mother was standing across the living room, staring deep in his eyes with a cold glare. He was about to run upstairs, but he felt a dark aura approaching him, but the thing was, Issei didn't give a damn about what his mother thought about the door. Rushing to the stairs and using Parker to get up the second floor far faster than his mother could, he made it to his room and locked the door. Putting things in front of his door and waiting to see what his mother would do, she started banging her hands on the door, but it was futile because Issei already had his headphones on. Issei. Hopefully, I don't wake up late. Time skip brought to you by Archie, Sonic and Paper Mario fusing. Mitchell. What do you mean that you failed your mission? Mitchell was casually looking at his subordinates, Irina and Zenobia, who were kneeling in front of him. Both of them had the look of shame imprinted on their face. Zenobia. We couldn't keep the mission to the church, and the land seems to be guarded by a powerful human. Mitchell. Are you sure that it was a human? Zenobia. Yes, the human that we speak of is named Issei Hyoudou. Irina was being forced into snitching on Issei because of Zenobia. She didn't want to ditch her partner in crime, especially when Issei acted so distant towards her. Mitchell. Okay, that doesn't explain why you thought that it was necessary for you to explain that to me. Zenvoya. We need to keep the devils out of this situation, and it seems that he may have some affiliation with the devils. Mitchell raised his brow and thought of a way to peacefully solve this issue. Maybe sending someone with great power would also help them. Dulio would probably be too much for the mission to be considered secret. Maybe sending in a special guest would be the best option. Mitchell. I'll be sending someone that will be coming with you. This person is known as being one of heaven's most valuable assets, not for her power but her versatility. Mitchell dismissed the two and went back to thinking about if sending this woman would be beneficial for them or a detriment. Mitchell. Time will only tell. Looks like I will have to check the sacred gear system in my father's floor. He needed to make sure that nothing strange would be happening. He checked yesterday and found out that the Red Dragon Emperor had been discovered by one of his followers. That meant that the Heaven faction had two incredibly powerful sacred gear users, while the Fallen had the White Dragon Emperor, but the Devils didn't have much. One thing for sure was that they had Surzich's Lucifer, an anomaly of an anomaly, a man that surpassed his brother, the original Lucifer, by many folds. Mitchell. Hopefully we don't get into another war amongst us. I don't want to anger the father of humanity once more. He remembered the might of the father, the power that humanity was given by his father, Adam, the father of humanity, was one of a kind. Imagining Surzich's Lucifer and Adam fighting would bring destruction across the lands. Similar levels of destruction to the heavenly dragons, if not even worse. Time skip brought to you by Sonic the Drunkhog and Tails the Box fighting. Rossweisse. Alright class, today we will begin with lesson 14, chapter 47. Everyone, would you all please open your books to page 420 and on the 69th section. Another regular school day. What else was Issei expecting? That was when he began to feel some strange disturbance in the area. Honestly, he was too bored to actually care about what was happening. Rossweisse. Would Issei Hyoudou please answer question number 2? After yesterday, Rossweisse woke up as a blushing mess after remembering what she had done. She accidentally blurted out her problem which caused Issei to help her. She was extremely happy that he did so, but embarrassed that she even had to get to that level of telling him. She walked to school with him. The both of them didn't speak much until Issei broke the silence. The both of them were teasing each other until they arrived at the school. Issei went his separate way to beat the shit out of Mitsuda. Rossweisse had to go to the staff room, where she kicked the asses of 3 perverted men trying to grope her. Now, here they are answering questions on the board. Issei. The answer is in my head, I just need to find it. Could you just give me a minute? Issei needed to figure out what the answer was. Looking through his phone, he searched up the answer of the question and got the results. Issei. The answer was 420 pennies, 69 dimes, 21 quarters, and $18. I may have just said that backwards. He felt proud of himself. Everyone was looking at him with shock. He answered the problem correctly. That was when they were interrupted with the Keno walking into the classroom. The Keno. Excuse me, but could I please borrow Issei Hyoudou for a few minutes? Rossweisse. What do you need him for? The Keno. Our club president needs him for something. Rossweisse. Tell her that she can have him later on, he's practicing something new. The Keno. But it will be really quick. Rossweisse. I can report you really quick. The Keno. Please, I need him just for 1 minute. Rossweisse. Didn't you say that your club president needed him and not you? The Keno. Misses just 3 minutes. Rossweisse. Then wait until the bell. The Keno was beginning to lose her smile, while Rossweisse was beginning to gain a smug look. The Keno. Fine. She walked out and waited the entire 30 minutes until the bell rang for all the students to report to their next class. Issei walked out and was immediately met with a Keno, who wasn't smiling anymore. Issei. What does the devil want? Name. Okeno Himejima. Level. 44. Fame. The Fallen Hybrid. Peerage Peace. Queen. Race. Fallen Devil. Health points HP. 3000, 3000. Magic MP. 4575, 4575. Fatigue. 0. Strength STR. 65. Vitality Vit. 60. Agility Agile. 62. Intelligence Int. 61. Sense S. 58. Luck LCK. 32. Issei. Interesting to see that this woman was 14 levels weaker than the screen shows, yet she is far below me. Rossweisse would have absolutely murdered this woman if she wasn't in class with humans. Issei walked around Okeno, but she grabbed him, turning his head towards her and seeing the glare that she was producing. Okeno. You're coming with me. Issei. Who? Okeno. What? Issei asked. Quickly getting out of the hold, Issei walked away towards his history class. Okeno. You wouldn't want the Lucifer to be upset, the supreme ruler of the devils. Okeno was smugly smiling, she was going to use this to her advantage. Issei. Do I look like I care? Okeno widened her mouth in shock at the amount of shit that Issei gives to the fact that he may have conflict with the Lucifer. Issei. Also, why the hell would the Lucifer even want beef with me? Okeno. Because you were the one to attack his sister, Rias. Issei. Oh, still don't care. Walking away, if the Lucifer wants to speak with him, then he would have to personally come to his house or privately talk. If he was to speak with the Lucifer in the same room as Rias, then the only thing they would be hearing would be Rias complaining about Issei hitting her, she would most likely over-exaggerating the situation. Also, since Okeno wanted to manipulate the fact that Rias was the sister of the Lucifer, Issei wonders how Rossweisse would get Thora Auden to be by her side. Chapter 24 The Talk. Issei was walking home after ditching the meeting that Okeno tried to force him into. Rossweisse was right beside him, she was making sure that her dress was perfectly clean and right to impress Issei. However, when she sees Issei deep in thought, she is forced to break his train of thought. Rossweisse. Issei, how do I look? She got into a pose to show Issei, ever since yesterday, and how forward she was with Issei, well he was practically acting normal with her. She was going to push her limits because talking with Issei has been one of the more entertaining things she has done in her life, far better than dealing with an angry Auden or a perverted Auden. Far better than talking with Thor, that massive behemoth of a monster, and Loki, that damn trickster and his damn annoyances. Issei. Oh, sorry about that. Anyways, you look great as usual. Why do you ask? Rossweisse didn't respond, she only gave a smile and walked ahead of Issei. Making his way towards Rossweisse's house, he stumbled upon the steps to Rossweisse's house and face planted onto his face. Issei. Issei, stay focused, stop trying to think too goddamn hard. Issei was thinking of the consequences of having those holy women walking around with those atrociously looking weapons. What the hell was up with the Excalibur destruction sword looking like a massive dildo for a dragon? Issei. Looks like my power is growing to the point where even some of the more powerful beings are catching on to it. If the description of my power is true and this godly divine magic is the holiest form of light magic, then wouldn't that make the other angels confused with my powers, either being similar to gods or exactly the same? Busting the door down and watching Rossweisse standing on the front entrance of the living room, she was smiling for some reason, and it was for surely making Issei extremely uncomfortable. Rossweisse. Today I have prepared the most special dish for you, be prepared to be amazed by. Turning around, Issei followed the woman to smell something amazing. He must have not noticed when he was deep in thought, but he could smell the food. It smelled heavenly. Rossweisse. This is called the Rossweisse special. She made a dramatic pose, chuckling at her pose, causing her to pout. Issei walked towards the table and took a bite. The food was amazing, and he was for sure in heaven. Rossweisse. What do you think of the food? Issei turned into a hentai protagonist because his hair began to overshadow his eyes, staying silent, which was beginning to kill Rossweisse. She was eagerly waiting for Issei to say something, the tension was heavy for her. This was her second time cooking with a recipe, and she didn't want to mess it up, she made sure to watch some television that told her what to do the night before. Issei. The food is amazing. Issei transformed into a Saiyan and began chugging the food down. This was amazing, and Rossweisse was pleased with the answer. She finally found something that she could blackmail Issei into, she had been searching up some ideas of getting a boyfriend, and she was finally beginning to execute the plan. Issei. We should really watch some JoJo. Rossweisse. I already have the anime saved for tomorrow. I was planning on binge watching it with you tomorrow. Issei. You have gotten even more respect from me. Rossweisse. I'm just waiting to see part 2, 3, and 5. I heard that they are pretty entertaining to watch. Issei and Rossweisse both got up and began posing as if they were JoJo characters. Time skip. After watching a movie with Rossweisse and putting her to bed, Issei walked back home to see his parents not on the house. They must have left to get the grocery or took another shift at their work. Walking into the room, he began to sense a massive amount of demonic energy in the living room. Casually walking into the room, he was met with a sight that he wasn't expecting to come so soon. Surziches. Do you always arrive at your house this late? Name. Surziches Lucifer, base form, fame. Strongest devil, title. Lucifer, race. Devil, gender. Male, level. 150, peerage peace. King, elf points HP. 12,400, 12,400, magic MP. 18,900, 18,900, fatigue. 0, strength STR. 235, vitality vit. 248, agility agile. 250, intelligence int. 252, sense S. 246, luck LCK. 150, additional effects, plus 30% damage reduction, plus 25% resistance to magic, skills, hour of destruction. Mastery over one of the most powerful magical abilities. Allows for many abilities to be performed at the mastered level. Issei. Nah, not really. Issei was calm thanks to his gamer mind and his own senses telling him that this conversation was serious. He wasn't going to take this as a joke. Sitting down in front of the Lucifer, he also noticed that bulky ass armor that Surziches was wearing. But to lessen the tension in the room, Issei came up with a question that would potentially show if Surziches was strict or someone he could potentially befriend. Issei. How the hell do you even carry that huge armor around you? The urgent main quest. Conversation with the devil. Requirements. Just have a peaceful conversation with the Lucifer. Reward. The Lucifer doesn't hate you. The Lucifer gives you a favor. Plus 12,000 experience points. Failure. Enemy with the devil faction. War between the devil faction and his guardians. Rossweisse will begin to slowly dislike you. Bonus objective. Give him some drinks and see what happens. Bonus reward. Plus 12,000 experience points. Surziches looked. He only needed to look down to see the huge armor that Issei was pointing at. He chuckled and began to grab the armor while attempting to take it off his head. He failed due to the armor being a bit tight. He just sighed and began to explain why he even wore the armor. Surziches. This thing honestly, I don't even know. It becomes a routine to wear it. I think I wore it for training and then never took it off because it looked good in my eyes. I don't know what I was thinking during that time. Issei. That's tough. Surziches. Yeah, wait, back on topic. I wanted to speak with you. Issei. What is it that you want to speak with me with such an urgency that you came here alone, Lucifer? Surziches was surprised at Issei knowing that he was Lucifer, but that must have been thanks to many other beings knowing that he was Lucifer, which resulted in Issei knowing as well. Showing a serious expression, expecting to see a reaction from Issei, he was met with Issei giving him an emotionless facial expression. Surziches was the one giving the uncomfortable reaction. There goes his plan. Surziches. I received a complaint from my sister that a human was able to defeat her entire peerage with relative ease. She came back with major burn marks, broken bones, and even her knight was severely changed in the way that he acted. Some think that he was hit on the head by your weapon. Issei. Okay, that human must be something, huh? Surziches. You're not even acting anymore. Where is the fun in doing this then? Surziches sighed in disappointment. His disappointment was immeasurable, and his day was ruined. This was not something that he was expecting from this almighty Lucifer. Surziches. Usually, I would defend my family in these circumstances, but the amount of time that you had to develop a plan and initiating it, something is telling me that you aren't a true enemy to us, devil, unless we attack you first. You could have killed my sister without me knowing and took over this land, but you didn't. Issei. Yeah, why would I want to have this land when the responsibility would be too much for me to handle? Surziches. Phew, that's nice to know anyways. I wanted to discuss the situation between you defeating my sister and severely injuring her. Surziches appeared behind Issei and brought his hand down. Issei was preparing to have the fight of his life, maybe finding a dungeon to escape in. Instead he felt someone patting him on the back. Surziches. Thanks for doing that. Issei was slightly shocked that the brother of the girl that he defeated, more like absolutely destroyed, was patting him on the back for doing it. Issei turned around and saw Surziches chuckling. Surziches. What? Did you really think that I would actually kill you for doing the right thing? Issei. Isn't she your sister? Surziches. Many would say that family comes first, but when being a leader, my people's safety, life, and their future comes first. For crying out loud, I was entitled Lucifer by the people. They all trust in me to lead them to survival. I will surely not bring them down. In my honor as a devil and leader, I will make sure to stay away from violence as much as I can. Surziches Lucifer wasn't done speaking. He continued speaking more with detail about his sister and Issei's situation. Surziches. My sister made the mistake of attacking you. I know my sister like a book from the way that she grew up and acted. Her curiosity and immediate act of blaming someone had told me that you weren't on the wrong. Surziches appeared on the couch in front of Issei and sat down. He brought out a water bottle and began drinking from it. Surziches. Plus, I was waiting for someone to actually beat her in a battle and show her how pitiful she was. It may seem harsh, but her acting as prideful without any power behind her words was beginning to piss me off. She needed to begin training. I haven't heard news of her training after a specific event, but I believe it was mostly because of your overwhelming ass beating that you gave her that she was actually began training. Thank you for that. Issei did remember the ass beating that he gave Rias. Judging by how powerful Akeno had gotten, there was a chance that Rias had gotten the same boost in strength. He would still clap all their cheek in less than 1 minute. Smiling at what the Lucifer was saying to him, Issei honestly thought that the Lucifer was going to act as a tyrannical ruler, but for him to be chill and compliment Issei for beating his own sister was nice. Issei. You know, you could have told me the magic words and I would have understood the situation completely. Surziches. Magic words. Issei. If she breathes. Surziches knew of the words that came after. He watched many memes to know where this was going. During his time doing paperwork, he would oftentimes search up funny memes to put a smile on his face, and it just do happens that this meme would frequently appear. Surziches and Issei. She's a thought. The both of them looked at each other and began chuckling. Issei. Yeah, and it's nice to know that you're not an asshole. Surziches chuckled when hearing this. He turned around to make sure his wife wasn't around. Surziches. Yeah, for some reason many beings get that from me upon first appearance. Probably because of the original Lucifer being a tyrant. Issei. Is that all you wanted to say to me? Surziches began to think of what else he wanted to say until he nodded. There wasn't anything else that he wanted to say. Surziches. I think that is all that I wanted to say, but I really don't want to go back home. Hey, could I at least stay here for a little bit until it becomes midnight? Issei. What do I get out of it? Surziches. A favor from the Lucifer himself. I think that should be good enough. Issei sighed. He didn't want to be rude to this stranger that could end his life, but he didn't mind the company. Especially when this man knew the phrase of the Thought Slayer. Plus, hearing about gaining a favor from the Lucifer was quite intriguing. The possibilities of what he could do with that favor was massive. Nodding, Issei walked towards the fridge and brought out his father's drinks. Issei. I'm guessing that you drink take some. Surziches. Woo, oh yeah baby, that's what I've been waiting for, that's what it all about, woo. Surziches grabbed some of the drinks and began drinking. The both of them began talking about the problem with women and them not understanding them. They moved towards talking about video games. Eventually they began talking about life in general. Time skip. The situation got to the point where Issei asked Surziches about his experiences with women. Surziches. Yeah, my wife Grafia is also extremely confusing to me. She sometimes is happy and randomly shifts her mood to my nightmare. Issei. How do you deal with it? Surziches. I think I just follow whatever she does. As they say, happy wife, happy life. Issei. Damn, she must be a pain to deal with. Surziches was beginning to have problems moving around. He was kind of like Rossweisse, not very good with alcohol. Surziches. You have no idea. While Surziches was having problems with coming up with a logical answer, someone was approaching his house. Issei's senses were tingling. They were telling him that someone was teleporting towards the living room, the same place where he and Surziches were talking with each other. Surziches grabbed his fifth bottle and began chugging it down, while Issei grabbed his first. Surziches. Sometimes I question why I love her, sometimes I question why I married her, but each time I found the answer. The person who appeared was a white-haired woman in a maid outfit. She seemed to have heard the last phrase from Surziches because Issei could sense her anger and sadness growing. Name. Grafia Lucifage. Fame. Strongest queen. Title. Lucifage. Race. Devil. Gender. Female. Level. 86. Peerage Peace. Queen. Health points HP. 9500, 9500. Magic MP. 13,500, 13,500. Fatigue. 0. Strength STR. 187. Vitality Vit. 190. Agility AGL. 176. Intelligence Int. 180. Sense S. 170. Luck LCK. 130. Skills. Hour of the Lucifage. Semi-mastery over one of the more powerful magical abilities. Allows for many abilities to be performed at the semi-mastered level. Surziches. Continuously getting more drunk from the drinks. It was because she was the perfect woman for me. She was strong, dominant, and she doesn't rely on me to make the decision for her. She actually made sure that the decisions that I did were beneficial for me. Grafia's expression changed from one with anger to one with happiness. Maybe giving him a lap pillow when they get home would be a nice reward for him. Surziches continued to drink. He was enjoying himself with the drinks. Surziches. What about you? Do you have someone that you personally like? That hit Issei, the word like trigger his memories of being betrayed by Rainer, the first woman that he actually genuinely cared about, killed him in cold blood by fooling him. He also gains this feeling of being weird around someone else, but that woman was extremely picky about her future boyfriend, so he would have to answer with a maybe. Issei. Maybe. Surziches. Oh come on, there's no need to be shy. I could even give you tips that I used on Grafia to have her fall for me. That was when Grafia quickly grabbed Surziches and threw him over her shoulders. Surziches. Whoa, the world is moving. Issei was chuckling at how childish Surziches acted when he was drunk. Grafia. Sorry for my husband's rude behavior. Issei. How is that considered rude? The man is great to talk to. Especially when he isn't an asshole. Grafia. Well that's a first. Surziches. Drunk as fuck. Hey, where did my buddy go? Fia, where is my buddy? Smacking her husband on the head, she sighed and created a magic circle. Turning around, she walked towards it, not before one last phrase from Surziches. Surziches. There, your buddy looks like I'll be leaving, but don't worry, I'll be back and we can help you with your women problem. Grafia made it to the circle and teleported her, while Issei was left stunned at how quickly that escalated. It went from them talking about what Issei did with Rias being a good thing and that Surziches wanted to thank him. Then, it got to the point where Surziches began drinking and his wife appeared and grabbed him. Is having a dominant woman a bad thing or a good thing? The urgent main quest had been completed. Conversation with the devil. Requirements have been met. Just have a peaceful conversation with the Lucifer. Reward received. The Lucifer doesn't hate you. The Lucifer gives you a favor. Plus 12,000 experience points. Bonus objective completed. Give him some drinks and see what happens. Bonus reward. Plus 12,000 experience points. Level up x3. Issei sighed, another observation has been noted, the ability of urgent quests giving him experience points. Also, these bonus objectives are becoming nice to have, he only had a very minuscule amount of them beforehand, but he would take any of them. Now he needed to wait for the side quests, the more they appear the quicker Issei could climb to the top. Surziches was the next person he needed to surpass. Name. Issei Hyoudou. Fame. The Hunter. Level. 75. Exp. 3420, 7500. Health points HP. 9900, 9900. Regenerates HP by 198 for every minute. Magic MP. 12,525, 12,525. Restores MP by 167 for every minute. Fatigue. 0. Strength STR. 154, plus 40. Vitality Vit. 157, plus 41. Agility AGL. 157, plus 10. Intelligence Int. 157, plus 10. Sense S. 157, plus 18. Luck LCK. 156, plus 5. Ability points AP. 0. Additional effects from equipment. Plus 40% damage reduction. Plus 50% critical damage. Plus 30% critical chance. When charging sword for every 2 seconds, damage doubles. Limit is 2 times. When guarding with this thick sword, damage reduction plus 25%. Plus 10% damage against beasts, monsters, and the undead. Issei only applied the ability points that he could freely apply to his stats into everything but strength. In reality, Issei was a behemoth in power. His god magic plus his other weapons could easily give even Grafia a run for her money, even if he was lower leveled compared to her. Plus, his critical hit stat combined with his overwhelming luck would absolutely obliterate Grafia. Issei. So the level doesn't matter as much, but the quality of the person does. Quantity doesn't matter as much as the quality of one being by the system. No wonder the difference between me and Akeno was so goddamn high. She was basically the Walmart version of an enemy that was a threat to me when I was a level 20 player. Issei walked away towards his room, not before he got a message from his phone. Rossweisse. I'm bored and I want to spend time with you. I also wanted to watch JoJo early, hurry up. Issei. Did someone just say JoJo? Side quest alert. Reach for the 100th. Description. Reach level 100. Rewards. Plus 55,000 experience points. Side quest. Make sure to kill Kakabiel. Reward. Plus extra respect from Surziches. Plus 45,000 experience points. Issei. It was about time that I received my side quests. Who the hell is this Kakabiel guy? Who cares, I'll just kill him. But right now, JoJo time. Please go support Dat-Boi-Eraser for writing that awesome fanfic. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.